How many of you have achieved real success, the kind that matters, without someone believing in you when you didn't believe in yourself? How many of you have reached your peak performance, your financial goals, your business breakthroughs alone? And here's the one that's going to hit you hardest. How many men do you know who have built empires, created wealth, transformed their industries, while their woman, their wife, was literally watching him fail, criticizing him, undermining him at every turn? Can you think of even one? For years, I chased success the way most men do. I read the books, went to the seminars, memorized the frameworks, followed the gurus, invested in the courses, stayed up until 3 a.m. grinding away. I did everything right, or so I thought. But there was something missing. There was a gap between my vision and my reality. A chasm between my dreams and my bank account. A void between the man I wanted to be and the man I actually was. And you know what? That failure didn't come from lack of knowledge. It didn't come from not working hard enough. It came from something far more profound. It came from not understanding the most powerful force in a man's life. The woman who believes in him, but the men who truly win. The ones who build generational wealth, who create movements, who leave legacies. They all understand something that changes everything. They understand that behind every great man who ever lived, there wasn't just a woman. There was the woman. A woman who believed. A woman who supported. A woman who made him to succeed. A woman who motivated him not through words, but through her presence, her faith, her expectations, her love. And when I figured this out, when I understood the profound psychology of how my wife's belief in me directly impacted my ability to perform, to take risks, to persist through failure, to dream bigger, that's when everything changed. I'm going to prove to you that if you want to reach levels you've never reached before, you have to first understand this one psychological truth that 99% of men completely miss. Are you ready? Let's go. Listen, I want to take you back to something primal. Something that sits at the very foundation of human psychology. And that is this. Human beings are biological creatures responding to biological imperatives. When a woman chooses a man, when she decides to build a life with him, when she commits to being his wife, she is making one of the most significant decisions of her life. She is not just choosing a partner. She is choosing the father of her potential children. She is choosing her financial security. She is choosing her social standing. She is choosing her future. And here's what most men don't understand. She is also making a choice about the man she believes he can become. When my wife looked at me in those early days, she didn't just see who I was. She saw who I could be. And that vision, that belief, that projection of my potential, it became the benchmark against which I measured myself. Think about what belief actually does at a neurological level. When someone, especially someone you love, someone you respect, someone whose opinion shapes your identity, believes in your potential, it doesn't just make you feel good. It literally rewires your nervous system. Your brain begins to look for evidence that supports that belief. It starts scanning your environment for opportunities that align with that vision. It activates what psychologists call the reticular activating system, the part of your brain that filters what you notice and what you ignore. When my wife believed I could build something great, my brain literally started noticing opportunities for building something great. When she expressed confidence that I would figure it out, I began to take bigger risks because I wasn't fighting her resistance. I had her wind at my back. But here's where it gets really deep. And this is what separates the men who make it from the men who don't. A woman's belief in a man is not just psychological. It's energetic, it's observable, it's contagious. When I walk into a room with my wife, and she looks at me with pride, with confidence, with belief, people feel that. They see it in my posture, they hear it in my voice, they sense it in my certainty, and suddenly, they believe in me too. The sales are easier, the negotiations flow better, the team rallies. The investors say yes. Why? Because she already sold them with her energy. This is what I call the belief multiplier effect. And it's one of the most underrated competitive advantages in business and in life. When I was building my first business, we were competing against companies with more capital, more experience, more resources, We should have lost, but we didn't. You know why? Because every time I walked into a pitch meeting, every time I presented to a potential partner or client, I carried with me the belief that my wife had in me. She believed I was going to build something significant. And that belief didn't just affect me. It affected everyone I encountered. It became part of my brand. It became part of my energy signature. Now, let me get even more specific about what's happening in your brain when your woman believes in you versus when she doubts you. When someone you love, especially your intimate partner, expresses confidence in your abilities, it triggers the release of several key neurotransmitters. Dopamine increases. This is the motivation chemical, the drive molecule. It makes you feel excited, energized, focused. Your brain becomes literally more capable of sustained effort and goal pursuit. Oxytocin increases. This is the trust and bonding hormone. It creates a sense of safety and connection, which actually lowers your cortisol, stress hormone, allowing your prefrontal cortex, your higher thinking brain, to stay online and engaged. But here's what happens in reverse. When your woman is critical, when she expresses doubt, when she questions whether you can really make it, your brain releases cortisol. Your amygdala, the threat detection center, activates. Your nervous system goes into a subtle state of fight or flight. And in that state, you don't have access to your full creative capacity. Your risk-taking becomes reckless instead of calculated. Your perseverance becomes obsessive instead of directed. Your ambition becomes desperate instead of inspired. This is why the most important business decision you can make is not what to build or how to build it. It's WHO to build it with. And whether that person believes in you, my wife didn't just believe in me because I was performing well. She believed in me before the performance. She believed in me during the failures. I remember one particular month where every deal fell through. Every project stalled. Every pitch got rejected. I came home ready to quit, ready to take a job, ready to admit defeat. I was done. And she looked at me, not with sympathy, but with clarity. And she said something that changed everything. She said, "You're not failing because you're not good enough. You're failing because you're being refined. And I'm going to believe for both of us until you get there." Do you understand the power of that statement? She wasn't denying the failure. She was reframing it. She was giving my struggle meaning. And she was making a commitment. I am with you through this. That's when I understood something crucial about the woman in your life. When a woman truly believes in you, she doesn't just support your wins. She anchors you through your losses. Most men think support means making things comfortable. Support means validation. Support means agreement. But that's not what my wife does. She challenges me. She questions me. She pushes back. But she does it all from a place of belief. From a place of, I know you're capable of more, so I'm not going to let you settle. That's a different category of support altogether. Now, here's something I want you to really sit with. When your woman believes in you, when she commits to your vision, when she anchors herself to your dream, she is literally betting her life on your success. Let me say that again, because I don't think we understand the magnitude of this. She is betting her life on your success. She's not just betting money. She's not just betting time. She's betting her reputation, her social position, her security, her future, her identity, because if you succeed, she succeeds. She becomes the woman who built something with her husband. She becomes the partner in a success story. She becomes the mother of a man's legacy. But if you fail, she fails too. Her social circle might judge her for choosing you. Her financial security becomes uncertain. Her dreams get deferred. Her needs get compromised. This is why, and I want you to really hear this, a woman's belief in you is not something to take lightly. It's not something to abuse. It's not something to exploit. It's something to honor and to recognize and to appreciate. When I truly grasped that my wife had literally tied her destiny to mine, when I understood the risks she was taking by believing in me, it fundamentally changed how I approached my goals. It wasn't just about my success anymore. It was about honoring her belief. It was about proving to her that her faith was justified. It was about making sure that her bet on me was the best decision she ever made. And you know what? That shift in perspective, From I'm building for me to I'm building for US. That shift tripled my effectiveness. Let me give you the practical business-oriented perspective on this. In any competitive field, you're going to face obstacles. You're going to encounter doubt, your own and others. You're going to have moments where you need to make a decision that requires courage rather than certainty. Every successful entrepreneur, every great leader, every person who's achieved something significant will tell you there are moments where you have to make a leap without proof. You can't wait for all the evidence. You can't demand guarantees. You have to jump. And the people who make that jump successfully are not the ones with the most data. They're not the ones with the lowest risk profiles. They're the people who have someone believing in them. My wife believes I can build this. So when I'm standing at the edge of that leap, when I'm looking down into uncertainty, I don't just have my own belief to stand on. I have hers. That makes the difference between a reckless bet and a calculated leap. That makes the difference between desperation and confidence. That makes the difference between someone who tries and someone who succeeds. This is where most men completely miss the mark, and it's costing them everything. We've been taught by culture, by media, by other men that a woman's needs are about flowers and compliments and romantic gestures. And yes, those things are nice, but they're not kakaimery. A woman's real needs run far deeper. And when you understand what those needs actually are, when you structure your life and your business to honor those needs, something remarkable happens. Your woman becomes your greatest ally in success, rather than your greatest obstacle. A woman needs to feel secure. And I'm not just talking about financial security. I'm talking about emotional security, social security, relational security. She needs to know that you have a plan. She needs to know that you're not just winging it. She needs to see evidence that you're thinking about the future. Her belief doesn't come from you telling her you're going to be great. Her belief comes from you demonstrating that you're serious. When I started my business, I didn't just tell my wife, I'm going to build something big. I created a plan. I showed her the projections. I broke down the steps. I identified the risks. And suddenly, her belief wasn't just hope. It was rational. If she's worried about paying the bills, if she's uncertain about the future, her nervous system is activated. She's in protection mode. So the first thing you must do is establish security. Inclusion. A woman needs to feel included in your vision, not just informed, but actually involved in the creation. This is where so many men get it wrong. They build their whole plan, then announce it, and wonder why their woman isn't excited. It's because she wasn't part of creating it. Before I commit to a major business goal, I include my wife in the process. I share my thinking. I ask her questions. I listen to her perspective. Her insights change my approach. By the time I'm ready to commit, she's already committed. She becomes a CO creator. Respect. A woman needs to respect you. I'm talking about capability, integrity, vision. She needs to see that you're serious, that you have standards. When my wife respects me, it's because I'm growing, because I have principles that I live by. This is critical in a business context, because a woman who respects you doesn't just support you. She amplifies you. But if she doesn't respect you, her support will be weak. Her belief will be hollow. Respect comes from integrity. Valued contribution. A woman needs to feel like her contributions matter. She has her own vision, her own goals. When you're only focused on your goals, you're sending a message that her dreams are secondary. That creates resentment. Everything changed when I started asking her, what do you want to build? Suddenly, we weren't in competition. We were in collaboration. When she's pursuing her own goals, her belief in you grows. Appreciation and acknowledgement. A woman needs to be seen and acknowledged and appreciated consistently. She needs to know that you see the work she's doing. Providing financially is not enough. What she needed was acknowledgement. When I started doing this, something shifted. Her support wasn't obligation anymore. It was chosen. A woman who feels unseen will eventually withdraw that support. Growth and evolution. A woman needs to feel like she's growing, like she's not stagnant. She needs to feel safe, but also feel like there's more. When a man is growing, that growth is ATT or active. But when a man is static, She starts to question everything. Growth is contagious. When you're growing, she grows. How her needs drive your success when you honor a woman's needs. Security, inclusion, respect, valued contribution, appreciation, and growth. You're creating the conditions for your own maximum performance. Because she's no longer distracted. She's a variable. She's present. She's believing. And when your woman is fully present, fully believing, fully supportive, you perform at a level you cannot reach alone. Most men approach success like it's a solo sport. And most men fail because of it. We're taught that success is about individual achievement, about proving yourself, about being the one who makes it. And in that frame, a woman is either helping you succeed or hindering you. But that whole frame is wrong. And the moment I recognized it was wrong, everything changed. The lie we've been told, the narrative we've inherited goes like this. A man builds, a woman supports. A man dreams, a woman believes. A man provides, a woman receives. This creates a hierarchy, a dependency, a debt. And hidden in that debt is resentment. When you see your woman as a support system rather than a partner, you start to resent her when your vision requires sacrifice. She feels it, and it makes her feel used. The dynamic becomes transactional. And transactions are fragile, the new frame. Partnership, what if success wasn't about you achieving and her supporting, but about both of you creating something together? What if your business wasn't your business, but our business? What if your goals weren't your goals, but our goals? When your success is our success, her emotional investment changes. It's not about supporting you. It's about building something. What partnership actually looks like. Partnership doesn't mean the same roles. It means mutual investment in a shared outcome. I'm the one taking business risks, but my wife is invested in making sure I can do it well. She's thinking about the business, advising, managing the household, contributing, and in her goals, I show up the same way. That's partnership. The psychological impact of collaboration when you shift from me and her to us. Your shame goes down. You're not alone in the risk. Your resourcefulness goes up. You have combined perspectives. Your persistence goes up. You're not struggling alone. Your alignment increases. You're moving in the same direction. When a couple is aligned, momentum increases. A woman needs to see your progress, not just hear about it, not just benefit from it eventually, but see it. And when she does, her belief strengthens. Her support deepens. Your commitment solidifies. Why visible progress matters psychologically. If I tell you to believe in my vision, but you never see evidence, at what point does belief start to waver? This is what happens when men are building something but not showing progress. You're working hard. You feel momentum, but she might not see it. And if she doesn't see it, her belief starts to fade. But when she sees progress, small wins, milestones, growth, her belief becomes evidence-based. The importance of celebration. Most men get this wrong. They achieve something, feel the win, and move on. But that's a missed opportunity because that win is proof of your capacity. You give her evidence that this is working. You're reinforcing that her belief is justified. It's not frivolous. It's fuel. Showing, not just telling people believe what they see more than what they hear. So I changed my approach. Instead of telling my wife about the business, I showed her. I shared metrics, results, growth. Then I translated it into meaning for us, how it affects our life. And her engagement changed. The accountability multiplier. When I started showing progress, my accountability increased. Because now it's not just about me. I don't want to let her down. That becomes motivating. You now have a built-in accountability partner. This is where things get really interesting. The energy exchange between two people committed to a shared vision. Energy is real. Energy is not metaphorical. Energy is attention, intention, output of your nervous system. When you're tired, your energy is low. She feels it. When you're focused, your energy is high. She feels it. Her belief in you is directly connected to your energy. A woman can handle struggle, but she cannot handle a man who has given up. So your first responsibility is to manage your energy. Where energy comes from purpose, from progress, from knowing what you're doing matters. When you're moving towards something, you have energy. When you're just grinding without meaning, you're depleted. and she feels that. The reciprocity loop, you show up with energy and purpose. She feels it and becomes energized. She supports you fully. That support energizes you. Your energy increases. Her energy increases. This is the loop. Your effort increases her support. Her support increases your effort. What breaks the loop? Low energy breaks the loop. When you're disengaged, she feels it. She starts to doubt. Her energy drops. Then your energy drops even more. Now you're both stuck. The fix is simple. Re-engage with purpose. Bring your energy back. Daily energy management. Get clear on your purpose daily. Reconnect with why you're doing this. Remove things that drain your energy. Do something daily that creates momentum. Small wins create energy. Then bring that energy home. Let her feel it. Her energy is a business asset. Your woman's energy is a business asset. Her belief impacts your results. Her support improves your decisions. Her energy elevates yours. You don't go into the world alone. You carry her belief with you. How your effort motivates her. When you show consistent effort, she becomes motivated. Your persistence inspires her. Your refusal to quit strengthens her belief. You become inspiration for each other. The chemical reality: when you're engaged in purpose, your brain releases dopamine. That energy is contagious. She feels it. Her energy increases. She becomes more supportive. This is biological. The warning sign: if your woman stops celebrating your wins, your energy is low. The fix is not convincing her. The fix is re-engaging with purpose. Bring your energy back, and the loop restarts. Most men start their businesses or pursue their goals for money, for status, for security, and those are all valid, but they're not deep enough. A woman doesn't wake up every day thinking about your net worth. She doesn't get energized by your income figure. She doesn't believe in you because you're going to accumulate more stuff. But a woman will wake up every day thinking about your legacy. She will get energized by a vision that's bigger than the two of you. She will commit deeply to something that matters in a profound way. This is the final piece. This is what transforms her from a support system into a true partner and something that matters. A legacy isn't money. Money is just the tool. A legacy is the impact you have on the world, the people you influence, the problems you solve, the difference you make, the values you live by and pass on, the example you set, the inspiration you provide. When I reframed my business from "I'm going to make money" to "I'm going to help people transform their lives, and I'm going to model what's possible for my future children," everything shifted. And my wife? She went from tolerating my hustle to joining it. Because now she wasn't just supporting my financial goals. She was part of building something that mattered. Now I want to be real with you. Understanding this framework is great. But understanding it and living it are different things. The real test comes when things get hard. When your business hits a rough patch. When money gets tight. When you're tired and discouraged and want to quit. That's when you discover whether you've really integrated this. Because in those moments, you'll have a choice. You can withdraw. You can isolate. You can become the solo entrepreneur trying to muscle through alone. Or you can lean into the partnership. You can ask for her perspective. You can share your struggles. You can let her belief be the thing that carries you through. Every time I've chosen the latter, everything shifts. Because suddenly, I'm not alone. And I have access to resources, her wisdom, her perspective, her faith that I didn't have when I was isolated. I want to give you permission for something. You have permission to need her. You have permission to ask for help. You have permission to admit struggle. You have permission to let her belief carry you when yours wavers. This isn't weakness. This is wisdom. The strongest men I know are the ones who understood that they couldn't do it alone, that they needed a partner, that they needed to let someone believe in them. So if you've been operating from the mindset that you have to be the strong one, the one who has it all figured out, the one who bears all the weight, that's the exact mindset that's limiting you. The men who reach the highest levels are the ones who understand partnership.